Hey girl, hey, welcome to Tia's Table, where we talk about food, fitness, wellness for women, and whatever we feel is worth discussing. Thank you for joining me at my table. Sit back, grab a snack, and let's have some girl talk. Hey girl, hey, welcome back to another episode of Tia's Table. So many things that I want to talk about today. Like the list is long. So, girl, for real, do grab your snack, maybe something to drink, and let's get into it. But before we do, let's talk about what's on my table here lately. I made that miso soup the other day, and it was so good. There is something about a really good miso soup that just does it for me every time. And I know people love ramen, and I don't knock ramen. I also love a really good pho. But I feel like it's hard to get really good pho, number one. Number two, it requires so many ingredients that making it at home is just not something that I have ever attempted to do. So I feel like miso soup is somewhere right in the middle. Like it's better than ramen to me, but it's not as like, ooh, comforting and like decadent and like delicious as pho. But I guess it kind of could be if you added more of the pho toppings to the miso. Hmm, that's something I need to think about for next time. But let me tell you how I made this very quick 10-minute bowl of miso soup. So for this, you're going to need a protein of your choice, right? Go ahead and have that cooked. I use salmon, but you could literally use whatever you already have. You're going to need white miso paste, right? It doesn't look white in the container. Even when you open it, it's definitely brown, but the container will say like white soybean miso paste or something like that. Grab that. You will absolutely want black pepper to give it a little bit of a kick. You'll need bone broth. You'll need whatever veggies you like. I did green onion, bok choy, and mushrooms in mine. Slice all of that really thin so that it steams really easily and quickly in the microwave. Get you some rice noodles. You could also do a ramen noodle or a thicker noodle if you want to. I did rice noodles because I knew that would give me more noodle for my fitness nutrition buck. So I went with that. And girl, like that's literally all you need. Now, of course, you could always do more toppings. And I think I did add some garlicky, crunchy, like red chili sauce at the end of my bowl. Like when I was making it right at the end, I added some of that, but you don't have to, or you could do hoisin sauce. You could do soy sauce. You could do whatever you want. But this literally cooks in 10 minutes. 10 minutes, and that's if you have to make your salmon. You can pop your salmon in the air fryer, let that go while that's in the air fryer, microwave your broth, cook your rice noodles. They only take about 3 to 4 minutes, so you have to be very careful that you don't overcook them. Put everything into the bowl and like, boom, it's the best. And it's been raining here in Atlanta for forever. So when I mean to tell you, that bowl of soup was everything to me the day that I had it. It was everything to me the day that I had it. And I feel like everybody, every now and again, you want a really good, comforting bowl of something, but you don't necessarily want to have to make a whole big pot of soup. This is a quick, easy, literally from scratch soup, and it's actually good for you. It's low in calorie. The noodles are gluten-free. It was heavy on the protein because you'll use a bone broth as your base. You'll have whatever protein you're going to use. And so like it actually tracks as something that we could eat more than once in a week if we wanted to, as long as you have the time to like do the microwave things. Prep your proteins on like a Sunday and then use them however you want all throughout the week, because truly you can steam vegetables in the microwave should it come to that. And to be honest with you, if I've never shared this before, which I think I have, but for the sake of making sure that I have done it, the broccoli at Costco that comes in like the big bag for $9.99. Inside that big bag is like 6 individual bags of broccoli that you steam in the microwave. You steam them for like, I think 6 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. And it's perfectly steamed broccoli. Like it's still crunchy, it's not mushy, it's not soft, none of that. It is perfectly cooked, steamed broccoli that you can use in millions and millions of ways. So don't sleep on the microwave. Don't be ashamed to use your microwave. I saw somebody online, I don't know, we won't say that they were shaming them, but they were kind of shaming them for not using their microwave to like make certain things. And I'm like, well, don't shame people, just educate them. Like you can literally make a baked potato in the microwave. You can have a sweet potato. You can make that in the microwave. They cook in the microwave in like 6 minutes. Wash the potato off, make sure it's still wet, put it in the microwave, 6 minutes, boom, you have a sweet potato. So quick, so easy, so good. And I feel like sometimes little things like that get missed when we're looking at stuff online or we're reading things online. People really aren't telling you the how they make all these meals happen. People are not turning on their ovens and cooking all these things all of the time. When I mean to tell you, people are utilizing their air fryers and their microwaves to make all these meals happen. They are using tools that make it very quick and easy, or else none of us would ever get these meals in front of us. So definitely try the miso soup. The recipe for that is on my Substack. I shared it in my Instagram stories a few days ago, but I will try to remember to go back and share it, or I'll put it in the description box for this episode. I'm trying to get better about remembering to do that, but I'll put it in the description box for this episode so that you can try it, girl. So easy, so delicious, and it really made my day the day that I had it. Now, yesterday was very interesting. I burnt my hand while cooking for my kids, but a burnt hand really don't stop nobody's show, nobody's flow. I went out to dinner last night with my husband. I ordered a flatbread. We went to a pizza place. I ordered a flatbread pizza. It was supposed to be a Mediterranean flatbread. When that flatbread pizza got to the table, I looked down at it, and the only thing that I could say right now to give you an idea of how I felt when I saw that flatbread. You know that meme or like that gif of Nene, and she's sitting at a table. I don't know if she's painting pottery or whatever she's, but I looked down at that flatbread and I was like, now I know this cannot be the same flatbread that I read about on that menu, because I'm pretty sure, number one, this flatbread is missing a few toppings, but then also number two, it just is really not giving what I thought it was going to give. But number one, my hand is aflame. I'm literally icing my hand at at dinner, like at the dinner table. I have my hand in a bag of ice. I'm eating my flatbread pizza with the other hand. It is so salty that I'm sitting there thinking to myself, now, I don't know if it's the feta cheese and the olives and the salami all together. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what it is that's making this so salty. And they did not put enough of any other type of topping on here to balance out that salt. So like it was very heavy on the olives, very heavy on the feta cheese, very heavy on the salami, and all of that is salt, 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 salt. They did have some banana peppers on there, but it wasn't enough to balance out that salt. Like they probably needed to add something else on there. I'm thinking like a tomato. I'm thinking literally anything else could have gone on that flatbread to kind of help it out. I didn't even take a picture of it, because when it came out and I saw it, I was like, ooh, this is not quite how I saw this going in my mind. But we're already out here. We're already icing the hand. We are already being troopers. Let's just eat the flatbread pizza and go home. And so that's exactly what I did. But what I did take from that experience was that, number one, I do like flatbread pizzas. And number two, I could totally make this at home. I could make this at home with one of those carb counter tortillas that I share all the time, the ones that have all the fiber in them. Let me get me one of those, right? Because I don't have to have flat bread. Like, of course, it was delicious because it was. The flatbread part of that pizza was great. The dough was like perfect. But I'm like, I could get one of those tortillas and I could literally make this, but like make it way better because it wouldn't be so salty. And so I think I'm going to try doing that maybe for lunch here pretty soon. And I'll share it on Instagram when I do. Now, I talked about changing the split on my workouts a couple calls ago. And since I have had time to try that out for a couple weeks, I'm going to share an update on that. And the update is you really just have to pick your poison. That it really doesn't matter, but I will share what I find to be the differences between strength training 3 times a week and going to Pilates twice a week, as opposed to going to Pilates 3 times a week and strength training twice a week. And that is, I am not nearly as sore as I used to be. Typically, by the end of the week, I would be so sore that I would tell y'all, like, I would have to go sit in the sauna because I would be that achy and that sore. Ever since I swapped it and I started going to Pilates 3 times a week and I'm strength training twice a week, I'm really not even sore at all. So there's that. However, what I will say is that going to Pilates Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, while it is great, what I have also realized is, if you do this though, you're literally training the same muscle groups 3 days in a row. And you're really not training anything else. Because one thing you're going to do in a Pilates class is a glute bridge. You're going to plank, like, you're going to do core and you're going to do lower body every time. So by Wednesday, I'm like, yeah, my lower body, because I am also still walking and or running every day. I'm like, by Wednesday, my lower body is like, geez, girl, don't you have arms? Like, don't you have a back? Do you not have a chest? Where are your shoulders? Don't you want to make your lats look like something? So why don't you give us a break and exercise something else? So when I was coming out of class on Tuesday, which was it was Monday. Yeah, I think it was Monday. No, it wasn't. Monday, I went to the suspend class, which is the TRX class. It was very challenging, but like in a good way. Loved it. Went to a 7 o'clock p.m. class on Tuesday, which was already a struggle for me because I was like, ooh, child, I'm leaving my house at 6:30 to go exercise, and that just feels so wrong. But we gon' press forward because this is the only time y'all are offering this class. So I went to class on Tuesday, and it was a level 2 reformer class. It was really good. I enjoyed it. I love those classes because they're at a slower pace and you get to use more pieces of equipment. So that was great. But when I was coming out of that class, I always tell the instructor, thank you. And I asked her, I said, what are we doing in your 7 a.m. class tomorrow morning? Because I'm in that class. And she was like, ooh, well, did you have something that you wanted to do? Because I'm always open to like giving you guys what you say you want. And I said, yeah, can we do some upper body work? Can we do some upper body work? And she was like, yeah. Now, I thought we would probably just do a portion of class and it would be upper body. I didn't think the whole class would be an upper body workout. But baby, when I mean to tell you the whole class was upper body, we used equipment that I know I hadn't become all that used to using in the studio before. We did exercises that no one had ever done before. And mind you, before all of the big to-do, I was 100 classes in. So I had been to my fair share of all of these classes, and a lot of the stuff that we did on Wednesday was like new. And I thought to myself, I wonder why they don't do more upper body work in these classes. Because surely if people are coming over here a few times a week, they can't keep training their lower bodies every single time. Like those muscles get overtrained and they get gassed. And after a while, you need to train something else, if for no other reason, so that your body like is symmetrical. You don't want to have like a great lower half of your body, but then the upper half looks like you never work out. You don't want that. So I had a great experience in there on Wednesday. So Thursday, I worked out with the Ladder app. And today, because of the burn on my hand, I decided, ooh, why don't we just you just take a beat, girl? Why don't you and that little hot hand take a beat, and then we'll revisit on Saturday and Sunday. So, yeah, I feel like the split has been working because I feel better. The only thing I don't like about it, though, is that I do feel like the drive time really does kill how efficient I'm able to be during the day, because the whole time that I'm driving to and from the studio, I could be walking during that time. So it is definitely having an impact on how my time is getting used. And that part I don't like, but I do like the fact that I'm not super sore and achy by the end of the week. So that's why I said you got to pick your poison. You got to pick your poison. Also, in the Ladder app, we are in the Shred series, and I have noticed that they are starting to finally switch up some of the exercises, and we are starting to do more of those combo moves that maybe you would do in a sculpt class. But at the end of the day, it is still not Pilates. There is a core section during each class where we do like bird dogs. You might do a plank, something like that. But that part of class or that part of the workout is so small that I really can't give them credit for this being some type of Pilates strength fusion program, because it's just not that. Like, mm-mm. Now, like I've said before, in the Ladder app, they have several coaches, several different programs. When you first sign up, you take a quiz and they match you to a lot of their programs, and then you pick the one you feel like you want to do based on the list that they offer to you, or you can just forego their suggestions and do whatever you wanted to do. So I'm trying to decide what to do. I don't know if I should stay with Ladder. I don't know if I should, and this is probably bad. I'm not telling you to do this, but this is probably what I'm gonna end up doing. I don't know if I should go back through the app and like screenshot some of the workouts that I feel were really good strength dumbbell workouts and just have those and just start doing those on my own. But the more I go to Pilates, the less I see the value in certain sections of the Ladder workout. But I think that's just because I'm in a program that is supposed to be Pilates heavy. So I'm also thinking maybe I should switch to someone else's program just to see how I would like it and to see what results I would be getting from it. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. I also tried magnesium glycinate for my sleep. I started it this week. And I have never had a problem falling asleep. I have never had a problem really with sleep in general. But staying asleep, I think, is the issue for me. I'll wake up over the slightest sound, like if this TV gets turned on and is up too loud, that'll wake me up in the middle of the night. The AC coming on will wake me up in the middle of the night. Literally anything. If a dog barks, anything. If my dog even shakes his fur out in the middle of the night, or if he scratches himself, I'm waking up. And just sidebar, KeKe does not sleep in my bed. KeKe has his own bed in my room, and when I'm feeling it, I let him sleep in here. When I'm not feeling it, KeKe has his own room and he can go sleep. He can go sleep in there, but sometimes I feel bad for him and I'll let him sleep in here. And every time I do, I regret it because he be shaking himself out, he be scratching, and it wakes me up. So this week, KeKe has had to sleep in his own room. That's number one. Number two, taking that magnesium glycinate has not kept me from waking up, but it has improved my overall quality of sleep. Like, I can tell I'm getting a much deeper sleep. So when I do happen to wake up in the middle of the night, I'm able to go right back to sleep, but my sleep is still getting broken. So I don't know how healthy that is, but at least I am able to go back to sleep. So it's not fixing the problem that I wanted it to fix, but it is helping the sleep that I'm actually getting. Because when I wake up now in the morning to actually like start my day, I do feel rested. I do feel like, oh, okay, well, I can go ahead and get up. Like this morning, I woke up at 6:30 and I was like, yeah, I'll just go ahead and get up because I don't feel like I need to keep laying here to squeeze the most out of this rest time. However, that magnesium is definitely giving me crazy dreams. I was not a big dreamer before this. Like, of course, I would have dreams every now and again, but I am not a person that would have dreams every night when I slept. And if I did, the dreams weren't like these long movies, or I don't know. They definitely would not always be dreams that I remember when I woke up. But ever since I started taking that magnesium, I have had dreams every night. They are very clear, vivid dreams. Like they're almost like these little sitcoms in my mind. Last night in my dream, I was eating a Big Mac and a large fry, if that is any indication of how crazy these dreams have been. So I say all that to say a part of me wants to be like, "Ooh, no, girl, stop with the magnesium," because it's not helping you sleep all night. But then the other part of me is kind of like, but it is making you get better sleep with the sleep that you're getting. So I don't know. And I have had people message me and like share their experience with magnesium with me, and I am going to use some of y'all's tips and see if that helps. But for now, it's like I like it, but also I don't know if I do. Okay, let's get into some of the mess because there is a long list. I'm going to start on a high note and celebrate the fact that my good sis Dominique Morgan has been released from jail. I know she was accused of doing some things that, maybe we hope she really didn't do. But, our good sis says on Sunday, she is going to clear all of that up. She has the receipts, she has the proof, she has all the things. She's going to give us her side, and she is not going to leave one stone unturned. And I will be seated for that. I enjoy her content. I think she's so funny. I think she's so smart. And when she does, give her opinion or her take on something, it does always seem to come from a very unbiased place. Like she's able to talk about things and actually be very fair about them. And I enjoy that about her content. So when she announced that she was going to have to go to jail and do that 20 something days, I was like, ooh, like I had to close my robe up for her a little bit because I'm like, ooh, first of all, jail, like I would never make it. But Dominique said, like, I did my 10 years flat, these 20 something days. That ain't gonna be nothing for me. I'll see y'all before the end of May. And she kept her word. She skedaddled right out of there just before the end of May. She said she's been taking notes of all of things people had to say, and she will be setting the record straight on Sunday. And I'm so excited to hear all of the things. She has been posting videos nonstop since she got out. Now, I thought when she got out, she was probably going to take a break, probably lay low for just like a tick, like, just take a breather, decompress. Because to see if I had been in jail for a month, baby, when I got out, I probably would have needed probably a smooth month just to pull myself back together. And that's how I know. I'm like, how do the girls do it? How do the girls take a licking and keep on ticking? How do they do it? Because, see, I didn't even go to jail. I just had a little medical, well, it wasn't little, but I had a medical situation. And I feel like I still haven't been able to bounce back from that. She goes to jail, gets out, and she's like, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. I will see you guys on Sunday for the battle royale. We will get to all of the things. It just might be in some people. I don't know, but I'm so happy that she's out and that she seems in good spirits and she seems like okay. And I can't wait to hear what she has to say. Dominique might even get me to buy one of them bonnets because I thought she was about to start selling them. And imagine me in my little cooking videos on Instagram, in my little Instagram stories, wearing one of those bonnets. I think I might have to buy one. I think I might have to buy one. You know, I went back and forth about whether or not I was going to talk about this because I feel like there's so much to say about it, but also, I don't know. It feels like it's kind of worn out at this point. And I don't know how many people are on that side of the internet, if your algorithm is even picking up any of the drama between Patrick Ta, Jackie Ina, and Painted by Esther. But I will make a long story short for you. Painted by Esther popularized a blush technique that all of the celebrities and the girls are doing. Painted by Esther is a celebrity makeup artist. So she does makeup for people like Viola Davis, Kelly Rowland, our faves, right? She has made this technique so popular that now she teaches classes on it. Okay? Patrick Ta, who apparently is another makeup beauty influencer. I've never seen a video of his, so I really can't speak to what he might be well known for. But he took Esther's technique and created a product for it, right? The technique she made popular, he created a product so that people would be able to do her technique. Esther claims that Patrick reached out to her and wanted to have a meeting, I guess to discuss something, but they wanted to be able to record like her technique in the meeting. And I guess she was like, absolutely not. You're not recording me doing anything. Which now that I'm sitting here talking to y'all about it, I'm like, why didn't he just pay for a class? Like, why didn't you just go to the class? But maybe in the class, they don't allow you to record either. I don't know. Anyway, she said absolutely not to the meeting. He goes ahead, launches this product. As part of the product launch, he gets certain beauty influencers to use the product in a video. I'm going to assume that people were paid to do this based on the people that I have seen do the videos. Most notably, Jackie Ina. Jackie, shared about the product. She reviewed it. She talked about how to use it. But in doing that, in her video, she kind of shaded Esther for whatever reason, or she like shaded Esther's technique. And y'all know how I say at the end of these podcast episodes, I say, never knock another woman's hustle. I say that for situations such as this, because if you were getting paid to review that product or talk about it or whatever, all you had to do was show us how to use the blush, talk about how great the blush was, tell us where to go get it, and that was it. There was no need to bring up the fact that someone else created the technique that this product was based off of, especially if you weren't going to be nice about it, or especially if you didn't have anything positive to say about it. You could just, if you don't have nothing nice to say, you can always just hold it. Rest your words, as I tell my children sometimes. You don't always have to say everything. Now let's back up. So after she posted the video, of course, her comments were flooded with, like, I thought you supported small creators. I thought you were an advocate for Black women getting credit for the work that they do. We can't believe you have aligned yourself with Patrick Ta because in the past he has used Black creators or Black models and stiffed them, like he had them do the work, but he didn't pay them. Like, his history. Why would you, of all people, do this? Because we hold you in a different light. Basically the people was like, we expect nothing but great things from you. Like, we expect you to do what we think is the right thing in all like business dealings. And Jackie responded to them people and said, you really got me effed up. You don't know me like that, and I don't have to speak out on everything. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically what she said. I don't have to speak out on everything. But then somehow, and this is how you know intentions were shady in that first video. Because if they weren't, there's no need to defend yourself or bring up any past beefs or anything like that. So in the response video, then she goes on to talk about a beef she had with Juvia's Place, and I guess how Painted by Esther, the makeup artist, is friends or, is industry connection to the CEO of Juvia's Place, like whatever. But in my mind, I'm like, okay, but are you all not a part of the same industry and network? Are you not? So what you're telling me is because that girl is friends, or maybe she has some business connection to the CEO of Juvia's Place or somebody that sits somewhere at Juvia's Place, you shaded her technique when you didn't have to. Like there was no reason for you to bring that girl into it because she is actually not even the person you have a beef with. She just knows this other person. Okay? And granted, we're not saying that the reason as to why you have a beef with Juvia's Place is wrong. Like, we're not saying that. It was just no need to bring up an old beef into this new situation that, sure, could you connect the dots? Absolutely, if you are not healed from whatever happened to you. And it's okay if you're not healed from it. It's okay if you're still very much so mad about it. But in the process of doing that, you definitely knocked this other girl, and the fallout from it, I'm afraid it just wasn't worth it. Because now you're in the comments as Jackie Ina, who is someone who I think has no business living in the comments. Like, I feel like she's amassed a certain level of success where you can literally post and walk away. Like, if you wanted to respond to like the first 5 people that comment or like whatever, sure. But I feel like she's at that level of success where she can literally post her things and walk away. She does not have to live in the comments. As a matter of fact, and this is probably a stretch for me to say it, but she could probably Duchess Megan her comment section. She could turn them off. And I don't think it would have any impact on her whatsoever. Like, she could give those comments a break, or when she's doing certain videos, she could say to herself, ooh, I know people aren't going to like the fact that I'm, reviewing this Patrick Ta product. So I'm going to do this video because my friend asked me to, or my friend is paying me to do this, but I'm going to go ahead and turn them comments off so that people can't be in here writing their think pieces because I don't have time for that today. But also, I would like to believe that at her level of success, that she wouldn't even be reading the comments like that still. Truly. So, so much has come out of this whole ordeal. It has not necessarily painted her in the best light, and people will try to do that whole mental reverse thing on you where they're like, well, isn't that this and isn't that that? I'm like, no, sometimes people just make mistakes. It's really not that. Sometimes people really can just not say anything and let things just be what they are. But what I think this situation has done, in my opinion, is it has kind of exposed like the mean girl in her. And it would be different if it wasn't like a pattern of behavior, but we remember like there have been other times where she will go on like a blocking spree over way less than this. Like when y'all was telling her congratulations on getting married, or like, yes, girl, we see that last name change, or whatever it was people was saying to her after she got married, she was getting mad at people and blocking them because she was like, I guess she didn't want people addressing the fact that she got married. And it's kind of like, well, if you didn't want people addressing it, why did you change your last name? Like, why did you change your screen name? And then why are you posting honeymoon content? Sure, you can post whatever you want, but you just have to understand that once you put it out there, people that support your platform, they are going to respond to the things they see you doing because that is the agreement you came into with them when you decided to be a content creator. You don't have to share everything, but when you do share something, you kind of have to know people are going to comment and respond about it because that's kind of the job. I would assume. Yeah, I don't know what else she expects from people, but I do know she will block you. If you get in her comments saying anything that remotely looks like accountability, like you're trying to hold her accountable or you're trying to hold her hand and be like, now, girl, a couple things can be true at a time. Let's talk about it. She's like, oh, absolutely not. Block, block, block. But I'm like, these are the people who have supported you so that you can so that you can be lavishly Jackie. Like you can't be sassy with them and just be saying anything in the comments, because once you start becoming overly defensive, which is what I think she has done, then you start your lips get a little too loose. And so now you're saying stuff like being pro-black was never profitable. And it's like, excuse me, there's a couple different ways people can interpret that. Now, on the one hand, it's kind of like, I would understand if she was like, what I meant was, you don't make a lot of money by being like an activist or like being pro-black. Like brands are not knocking down my door to work with me because I am a pro-black content creator. So she could have definitely meant it in that way. But she could also meant it like, girl, I'm going to work with whoever I want to. I don't care if he has hired 8 million black models and not paid them. If he's cutting me my check, that's the only black woman's check I care about. And I fear that that is the way most people took what she said. That's why I said sometimes resting your words is the way to go. Sometimes, well, not sometimes, but 100% of the time, not knocking what another woman has going on is always going to be the thing for you to do. I don't care what she does for a living. I don't care what she may have done to you. I don't care who she might be friends with. None of that. You can have thoughts and feelings and let them rest on the inside of you. They can be intrusive thoughts, or maybe you could put them in a group chat that you find to be very safe and secure, right? But what you shouldn't do is set up a camera, hit the record button, knock said hustle publicly, because that's worldwide, that's everywhere, and then not expect for people to connect dots, figure out things, put pieces of puzzles together, and come back to you and be like, oh, now wait a minute. Like you might not be on the right track here. I don't know, which I don't think this is going to impact her not one little bit. She'll keep selling candles. She'll keep selling perfume. She'll keep making her content. She's going to keep steaming those sheets every morning. She will keep swirling around things in those mugs with those gold spoons, which I love all of that for her. If I do, I love all of that for her. But at the core of it, you kind of want whoever it is you're supporting or you're taking in their content to be somewhat of a good person. And it might be a stretch. And I'm sure she's good to the people in her circle. And if I want to be very transparent in this moment with what my real thoughts are, she's probably very nice to the people in her circle or the people who she deems like on her level. I can tell by the way she talks to the people in her comments that she sees the people in her comments as people she could take or leave, which really, that's how we should look at all strangers, if we're going to keep it a buck. However, I do think if you are naturally a kind person or even a nice person, you only go so far with things. And I feel like what this situation has exposed of her is that she might be a mean girl. And I feel like that's disappointing. I feel like it's disappointing to find out somebody who you might enjoy what they do, that, truly, she might be a little bit of a mean girl. She might be. I kind of feel like Jackie Ina and Brandy Norwood are the same person. I don't really have the time to connect that in this moment, but if you read Brandy's book or if you've been alive long enough to follow Brandy's career, I feel like they are one and the same. They present one way, but really they might be another way, and they will lie to us in a minute if they have to, if they feel like their backs are against the wall. So I don't know, but there's that whole situation in a nutshell. If you had not been able to follow it and you did not know what all the hoopla was about. KeKe Palmer and Sean from the Hot Wings. Do they go together, yes or no? Should they go together? Absolutely. Now, I don't know much about Sean other than that he enjoys himself a good conversation and a hot wing. But I think they are so cute together. I think their flirtatious energy is very energetic, like it gives really good chemistry. And I don't know much about KeKe's dating history other than the fact that she dated Homeboy's little brother, Homeboy from Insecure. She dated, Insecure, him. She dated his little brother. They have a baby together. And we all know, we saw the video of how he was treating her. So we would like to believe that the next relationship that KeKe decides to get into will be healthier, happier, maybe something that KeKe can see herself doing for as long as she wants to do. And that man seems to really like himself some KeKe. KeKe is a cute girl. She's fun. She's spunky. Now, again, sometimes we don't like the people that KeKe invites on her podcast. Sometimes she be giving people a platform and we don't think they deserve to have it, but we not gonna hold her professional missteps against her when we discuss her personal life. And I think the two of them are actually really cute together. I don't know how old Hot Wings is. Does anybody know? I know KeKe is what, almost 30? Is she 30? I don't know. I kind of like it. Have y'all seen them together, and what do you think about the two of them together? Someone else that really should have just sat down somewhere and shut up this week, but just couldn't keep himself from hurting himself this week on The Breakfast Club, Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart sat down to do that interview about his roast and about those George Floyd jokes. And basically what Kevin said is, a joke is a joke. Like that's who they are. Like, knowing them, if you come to something that they're doing, they're going to go there. And like, you got to be able to go there. And it's like, Kevin, I don't have to go nowhere. I don't have to go nowhere with you. I don't have to go nowhere with them. But what I will say is that if this is where you choose to go, like, cause you know them outside of like filming things, if these are the people that you have like hitched your wagon to in a way that they feel like these kind of jokes were going to be accepted, like with a humorous response, like they thought people would laugh at them. Oh, like, again, who you present yourself to be must not really be the you that we don't see. Cause why would you ever think that was funny? And what's that girl's name on The Breakfast Club? I don't watch them because I don't like them either. Ooh, yes, I don't like the host of The Breakfast Club. Now, what's the new girl's name? The girl that used to be on Wild and Out, and she's from Baltimore. See, I don't even know her name. But y'all, is her name Jessica? Y'all know who I'm talking about. Her, and I want to say the girl that was on there when she was on maternity leave. Is her name Lauren? The two of them are fine, but DJ Envy and Charlemagne, I could absolutely not. I don't ever have to watch nothing that they do. But during that interview, I think her name is Lauren. She asked Kevin, like, did you see the interview that I did with George Floyd's brother? And before she could even get out the rest of what she had to say, Kevin was like, nope, I'm never going to watch it. I'm never going to watch anything that you do. Like, the way he was responding to her, I was like, oh, okay. So then let me get this straight. You went to the George Floyd funeral, probably because that paints you in a good light. Because if you genuinely cared, then yeah, you wouldn't be responding to her the way that you are right now about the interview she did with his brother. It's no harm, no foul if you haven't had a chance to sit down and watch it or listen to it. Everybody is busy and everybody doesn't have time to consume all of the things that get pushed out on the internet. So had you said, oh no, I didn't have time, I haven't had a chance to like listen to it yet, that would have been received much better than you being like, nope. And I'm not going to watch it. I'm never going to watch it. Because then that makes it seem like you really don't even care, which is why you let those men come on your roast and tell that joke about him. Because you really don't care. Like, you might really only be doing things for the optics and the paycheck. I see a theme here between him and the other person we just talked about who really didn't have to say anything this week either. Like, truly, your words never have to leave your mouth. And if they are going to, you got to do better about selecting words that tell the story you want to tell, sure. But if you are going to be talking on behalf of your brand or your business or whatever, you have got to start being more mindful about the words you choose to say. And the ones that he said during that interview with the Breakfast Club basically left me with the impression that, oh, like you really did never care. You might have shown up when it was happening, because let's face it, that was a horrible thing that happened. Like, we know that. We watched as everybody just completely spiraled from that, and we saw the protests, and we saw how the country responded to him being killed by that police officer. But the other side of that, like, I guess the less human side of that, people like a Kevin Hart may allegedly, possibly, attach themselves to something that's happening that's so big, because at the end of the day, you want people to see you in a certain light. Like, you want them to see your brand in a certain way. But see, what happens with time is that it does pass. And things don't always age the way we think they're going to. So you might have been supportive of him and his family when it was popular to do so, but now that enough time has passed, you feel like it's also okay for people to make jokes about something that just at the end of the day is not funny. And what always seems to just like boggle my mind about situations like this one is, I'm like, and you have a young Black son, but I guess because y'all are, like incredibly wealthy, you probably feel like your son will never be in a situation like that where possibly something like that might happen to him. But the reality of the situation is it could. Like, no Black person should ever feel like they're literally that safe. They should never. So I don't know. His interview really did make me look at him differently too. And I feel like every week somebody bites the dust. Is there not? Is there not something happening right now where every time you turn around, you're like, oh, well, let me check them off of my list of people I'm going to be watching and supporting, because what do you mean you thought the joke was funny? You thought it was okay. It wasn't okay. And then for a little joy amongst the filth from the week, Solange and Meg linked up for what we could only assume to be an incredible fun girls' weekend. They were on a yacht. They were by the water. They were out in nature. They were holding up peace signs. They were taking selfies. And it looked like a great, grand old time. When I saw those pictures and like the videos, that's what I thought. Like, oh, look at them. Like, they're so cute, so fun. Yay, yay, yay. Great. Another thing that happens on the internet, and maybe I just don't have time to be a deep thinker. And I really don't. Like, it is a wonder that I'm able to even sit down and talk to y'all once a week. But when I started seeing people talking about, oh, Solange took Meg to the water, something about this and something about that, which I know her sister sings about different things. So it is not lost on me that, yeah, they probably do believe in the healing of water, and they do believe in the healing that comes along with certain beliefs and all of that. But I'm like, did y'all really look at those pictures and get that from that? Maybe you do, because maybe if that's the world you live in, you automatically go there. But I'm like, is that what y'all got from those pictures? Is that what you got from those pictures? That they went to go see the goddess of love, which I get it. I get it. She just went through a big breakup and she probably is not over it yet. But I just don't know if I don't know. What has social media done to us? What has it done? And then sometimes I think people just say things because they just want other people to know that they know them. You want other people to know that you know who, like, the goddess of love and beauty and fertility. I think someone also said she's the goddess of sweetness. You just want people to know that you know about these things. So you put them out on the internet. I'm like, or maybe her friend just went through a bad breakup and she was like, hey girl, come down here and get on the boat. Come get on the boat. We'll have a good time before you go off to Miami for Miami Swim Week. Which, by the way, I saw the video of Megan walking in her show and she looks incredible. Not one muscle was left behind, and she has fat in all the right places. My goodness, maybe I should not have skipped my cardio today. There's still time for me to get it in. Maybe I'll do it when those boys go to basketball practice. I don't know. But yes, oh my gosh, sometimes it is just a boat ride. We are not always going to see ocean. Sometimes you know, I don't know. But whatever makes people happy, I'm fine with it. But when I started seeing those takes, I was like, or maybe they just are hanging out, or maybe I'm just not a deep thinker. Who knows? It could be a little bit of both. Now, I know I told y'all about Divorced Sisters when I first started watching it, and I kind of feel like because it is a Tyler Perry production, people are still sleeping on it. They don't want to give it a chance because they're like, ooh, Tia, it's Tyler Perry. And I totally get it. I totally get it. But you know what about that Tyler Perry? He throws enough stuff at the wall that eventually some of it sticks. And this particular show is one that sticks. It stars LaToya Luckett. It stars Devon Franklin. They play husband and wife as a pastor and a first lady. They have a friend circle, and their friend circle is going through all these crazy things. I don't want to give the show away because it really is like drama filled and it really is that good. Some of the actors, yes, they're employed by Tyler Perry. So some of the actors probably could benefit from an acting class or two. But for the most part, the cast is really good. And it's the season finale for this second season just came out this past week. So right now, if you go up there and watch it, you'll be able to watch all of them. Like the full, which I don't know if he considers this one full season or seasons 1 and 2. I don't know because it's like they aired some episodes and it took a bit of a break and then it came back. But anyway, if you go on either BET Plus or I watch it through the Paramount app, if you go up there, all of the episodes are up there and it is so good. Like it is my must-see, it's one of my like must-see shows of the week. Please, if you don't do anything else over the summer, please become someone who watches this show so I will have people to talk to about this show. It is so good. But you know what? Because I was thinking about this. Now, this I did give some deep thought. I was thinking about that. The fact that show is so good, right? And I thought to myself, Tyler Perry makes a lot of things. Most of it is not stuff that I even consider watching. It never crosses my mind to even give it a chance. I happened to watch that particular show, though, because of LaToya Luckett. Like, she's such a great actress. I said, well, LaToya, girl, I'm going to give it a shot and see. And I've been watching it ever since. Now, walk with me for just a second. I wonder if Tyler Perry's fan base, his original fan base, I wonder if they're watching any of this new stuff that he puts out. And I wonder if they feel a little groomed. Keep going with me. When Tyler Perry first started making his productions like for the screen, right? He started off with very faith-based movies that centered Medea, right? Then he started making his shows like Meet the Browns, things like that, very safe television that still centered faith. But I think as his stuff got more popular, or maybe as he started making more money, you would notice that in some of his movies and shows, like some of the stuff started being a little bit more secular, let's say, right? Some of the jokes would be like hypersexual in nature. Some of the violence became a little bit more graphic. They definitely started cussing more in some of the stuff that he was creating. even in the films that have those mainstay characters like Medea, like homegirl and homeboy that's married in real life, the Browns, y'all know who I'm talking about, the ones that can sing. Them. And what is the movie where he drives the nephew to college? Joe. Joe drives somebody to college in one of his movies. I think it's on Netflix right now. And that one in particular, a lot of the jokes are very sexual. It's a lot of cursing in that movie. And I sat there watching it thinking to myself, I wonder if his fan base even realizes that he kind of slowly introduced them to basically watching regular stuff. Because if you were to watch Divorced Sistas, baby, there's S&M on that show. People get killed on that show. I mean, and you see it happen. It's not like they allude to it. Like, people fight. There's all the cursing. The relationship dynamics are just very messy. There's definitely graphic sex on that show. What else? I don't know, but as a fan of Divorced Sistas, the other day I was thinking to myself, if his original core fan base is watching any of this new stuff that he puts out, those people were definitely groomed for this. And I bet you they don't even realize it. Those wholesome, church going, pew sitting, altar going, all white wearing, usher board sitting, deacons and deaconesses. They were groomed to be okay watching his new stuff as long as his name is on it. And I would be willing to bet that that is one of the only reasons he keeps his name on a lot of the things that he does now, so that his core audience at least gives it a try. And if it's too much for them, they might turn it off. But I guarantee you a lot of them are watching some of this new stuff that he puts out. And if so, it is such a far stretch from what he originally started doing that those people have to feel a little hoodwinked. I mean, I don't know. I don't I don't watch a lot of the Medea stuff just because I don't think it's funny. Like, it's not my cup of tea. But I live with someone who I think grew up watching these things with his family. And every now and again, he'll be like, well, do you want to at least give it a shot? So, like, that's how I end up watching the thing with Joe driving that boy to college or wherever. And I was so taken aback that I'm like, this cannot be the same Tyler Perry that did Diary of a Mad Black Woman, or like Medea when Medea was going and doing all that stuff. Because this right here basically is like a regular, you know what? That Joe driving that boy to college movie, that could have easily been one of those movies from the early 2000s, like Big Mama's House. But even Big Mama's House was cleaner than this, because Big Mama's House was made for families to watch it. This movie with Joe driving that boy to college, I would not watch that with my kids. Because of the language, I wouldn't watch that not with my youngest child, and he's 10. Absolutely not. So I wonder how his fan base feels about a lot of this new stuff, or are they even watching it? If they are watching it, I just want to be one of the first people to tell them, baby, you was groomed. He lured you in under the guise of being someone who, you know, said all the nice things in the beginning, maybe used religion in a way that maybe now that we're going back and thinking about it, maybe he probably shouldn't have. And now he's got y'all, which is fine with me because I'm not included in that bunch of people, but he's got y'all watching people doing every single last thing that you've been raising people not to do. Okay? How do people think or feel about that? And have y'all ever thought about that? Because I feel like that's a real thing. Some court cases that I'm following, because, I love a good murder mystery. I love a good whodunit. I love a good, now, why did they go and do that? And I love a good court case. I'm following the story out of the Bahamas. A woman named Lynette Hooker went missing while she was down there with her husband. They was on the little boat that takes you to the big boat. They both got on the little boat, but they both didn't make it back to the big boat. He claims that the tide or the waters or whatever bumped and rumped him too bad and that lady fell over. He said he called, blah, 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 whatever. Of course, we know he done killed this woman. We know he has killed the wife. But the people down in the Bahamas are having a hard time getting the evidence that it is so. They done pulled the coordinates. They have pulled maps. They have pulled phones. They have pulled all the things, but cannot seem to have enough evidence to nail down the fact that this man pushed that lady off that boat. People have come and they have given statements saying that that man was abusive. They, have been able to give examples of other times where the woman flat out said, like, when we're out on the water, that's when he chooses to like do the most. And so now the lady has died or she's missing. And the people down in the Bahamas can't seem to put the pieces of the puzzle together to bring that man up on charges. And as a matter of fact, in the meantime, the man has been getting interviewed by any and everybody trying to paint himself as like a good stand-up husband that would never. And baby, we know you did it. We know you did it. We're not new to this. We're true to this. Hello, Lacey Peterson. Okay. Hello. What's the baby's name? The little beauty pageant baby. Her name is not Nicole Ramsey, is it? I don't know, but y'all know who I'm talking about from way back in the day. And they've done so many documentaries on that. I'm almost certain her brother did it. It's like, we know who did it. Why don't y'all know who did it? Like, why is this so hard for y'all to do? But if you don't know anything about that case, look it up, because I'm like, how do y'all not know? Another case that I had followed for a while is kind of coming to an end now. They're starting to sentence the suspects, but it's a case out of Florida. Rapper Julio Fulio was brought to his untimely death during a shootout at a hotel. It was all caught on camera between the cameras at the Airbnb and the cameras at the hotel where the killing happened and all of the phone stuff in between. Like, they got these kids, and they're kids. They're like 20 something and younger. They got them all on camera doing this, right? They have the rental car receipts. They know who all was a part of the setup and the organization. It was like 4 guys and a girl. Now, what has been interesting about this is that during the sentencing, you immediately find out who was about that life and who kind of just got pulled into it and who was never supposed to be, right? Because a couple of the suspects are taking their time like on the chin. They chest up, chin out, they got their time, boom, boom. There's one suspect, however, who apparently came from what we will say is a good family, lived at home with his mama and his daddy. Apparently, he lived out in the suburbs where his family was able to provide like a good life for him. So looking at it like that, you say to yourself, there was no reason for him to be involved with anything like this. As a matter of fact, he probably shouldn't even be hanging out with any of these people. Like, how do you even know them? Like, how do you even get yourself involved with this when you don't live where they live? You don't go to school where they go to school. How do you find yourself wrapped up in this? But that particular kid, and I want to say, is he 19? I think he's 19. That particular kid, every time he is brought into court, when I mean to tell you he is boo-hooing, he is boo-hooing, like not taking it well at all. And I don't know how much time he's gonna get, but I do know it's decades. I want to say they can charge them anywhere from 25 years to life, I want to say. Now, the girl that was involved in this case, her sentencing and her whole case has been handled separately from them because she didn't pull a trigger like all the guys like did the shooting. She didn't shoot anybody, but she definitely helped organize the trip, like help rent the Airbnb. Like, she was doing stuff She was doing the stuff you would expect a woman to do. She rented the Airbnb, helped organize the car rental, definitely knew they were going to Jacksonville. Now, she claims she did not know what they were going for or why they were going, but, and that could be true. I don't know. I don't know. But what I do know is you were in a relationship with one of these guys. They asked you if you wanted to go to Florida, not Florida, but Jacksonville for the weekend. You said yeah. Very cute girl. Very cute girl. You said yeah. They ask you to rent the car and get the Airbnb. You are probably like, okay, yeah, like whatever. You do it. They get down there, and I don't know where she was when they were actually committing the crime. I don't know if she was back at the Airbnb. I don't know if she was out in the car waiting. I would like to believe that she wasn't. But yeah, so that part is kind of a little up in the air, like, oh, well, maybe she really didn't know. Whether she knew or not, them people sending that girl to jail. Like she's going to jail for quite some time because she has been associated with these people that committed this horrendous crime. But seeing how each of them has responded to it has really been heartbreaking because you can see that the two of them, the guy from the suburbs and this girl, they really were never about that life. Like they really should have never been wrapped up in nobody's local rat beef, gang beef, or whatever it is. So if you happen to have a TikTok account, there's an account called I'm Not a Lawyer But, where she breaks down lots of different cases, but she did a whole series on this one. Go there if you're interested in seeing like the case from start to finish. But yeah, those kids, God bless them, because they are broken. I honestly don't know how they're gonna handle that one guy. I haven't seen the girl like break down yet. But that one guy, every time I see him, when I mean to tell you, forehead is on the table, boo-hooing, crying. Oh, and you may have seen this clip. The clip from court where they're negotiating his sentencing and they were saying that they could give him the death penalty. That's what it was. But then whoever the warden or whoever has a say in like what actually happens to you was like, yeah, we could give him the death penalty, but honestly, the prison population is aging and people are getting too old to do the work we need them to do. He's so young, he's in shape, he's got a lot of life left in him, and we could really basically use his sweat equity out there to do some of the work that we need to have it done. And baby, as a child from the suburbs, I know he was probably thinking, work where? Like he's probably never even had to work, period, based on the way they talked about his family. And to that, I say, see, some of these kids, they grow up really good, but they want to be down and bad, like so bad. And it's never worth it. Like, it's never worth it. Appreciate the fact that you might be growing up a little quote unquote lame. Like, appreciate it. Ain't nothing out there in them streets for you. Ain't nothing out there in them streets for you. Because now you're about to spend the rest of your life doing whatever kind of work they have y'all doing in prison, fighting fires, breaking rocks, growing produce. I mean, I don't know. Making license plates. We'll never know because we ain't gonna never be in there to find out. But yeah, they literally looked at him and said, oh yeah, baby, we can get a lot of work out of him. Let's keep this one alive. Over the summer, I want to get into creating more. Like I've talked about this a lot, like all the hobbies, doing all the things, just trying to get my hands back on my own life in a way that feels like grounded and good and it has like a good rhythm and flow to it. And I was talking to a friend a few days ago, and I don't even know how we started talking about YouTube, but we were talking about YouTube. And I was like, you know what? I think I would like to create a couple YouTube videos. Not that I'm going to be doing anything once a week, no daily vlogs or anything like that, but just for like the funsies of it, over the summer, I would like to create, a little small handful of videos just for the creativity of it all, just because it would be fun. And so I made a goal to do at least 3 videos over the summer because I'm like, that's an attainable goal. I can actually do 3, and I could do 3 and it would actually be fun. Like it wouldn't feel like a chore, like I wouldn't feel pressure or stressed about it. It would just be like a fun creative outlet. So I have cleaned up my YouTube channel. I gave myself a new like channel banner. I have updated things over there. I haven't posted any new videos over there yet, but you can actually listen to the podcast on YouTube. If you didn't know that, the podcast goes to YouTube. But over the summer, I am going to post some video content over there, and I'm excited about it. So if you like watching people on YouTube just kind of dilly-dally, maybe cook, maybe do a little bit of this, do a little bit of that, yap about different things, I'll be doing that over the summer on YouTube. I've been trying to find women who are 40 something that kind of do that stuff, and to be honest, I've had a hard time finding women who I can relate to on YouTube. Now, I have found women my age. That has not been the challenge, but I have had a hard time finding women who like shop at the stores I shop at, who are actually like cooking, who actually like live at home. And by live at home, I mean like they're not constantly going places. I follow a lot of women who are in their 40s on YouTube, but they just have completely different lifestyles. And I'm like, well, where are the women that are like me? Like, you still got a couple kids at home. You got to go to the grocery store. You got to go do those Costco runs. You know, you're going to Home Goods. You like a good dilly-dally. You do meet your girlfriends randomly for things. You know, you're going to go out on a cute little date like I did last night with my burnt hand. You're going to eat some salty flatbread pizza. Then you're going to come home. You're going to watch TV and you're going to call it a night. Like, where is that life? What I would consider to be a very just like slow, normal, regular life. Every now and then something with some razzle dazzle happens, but for the most part, you have you have a routine and a day that is filled with different things, but for the most part, your day is kind of the same. You know, like where is that kind of content? And since I have not been able to find it, I said over the summer I will do some of that type of content for fun, and we can just all have fun like watching it, which also means that the podcast is about to go on its summer break, which, you know, I'm kind of excited about. I normally use the summer break to do other creative things like the YouTube channel, or like I'm really enjoying Substack. I still haven't quite figured out how I want to show up over there, meaning, do I want to be writing like deep think pieces about life in my 40s, or do I just want to do like fun, like old school blogging? And right now I feel like I'm in the old school blogging vibe, where if I can pour my heart out a little bit, like I will. But honestly, like I feel like I'm not even in the space where I want to, not not that it's teaching people stuff or like giving life lessons, but what I did notice about the content on YouTube, if I could go back to that for a second, a lot of the content for 40 somethings seem to center around like your glow up in your 40s and do this in your 40s and do that in your 40s. And I'm like, I don't want none of that. What if you just lived? Do you know what I'm saying? What if you just woke up and said, today I'm going to do these things, and then you did them? What if you just woke up and said, today, doing this particular thing would make me happy and bring me joy? And then you went and did that thing, and then like documented it and had fun doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a little burnt out and so maybe this means I'm really not that deep of a thinker, which I am a deep thinker, but I'm only a deep thinker about the things that I feel like deserve that level of my emotional labor, like my children and my parents, you know, things I feel strongly about. Literally all this other life shit, it really just don't pull it out of me. I'm like, girl, is you or is you ain't? So, are you going to make the most out of your life and feel good about it and be happy about where you are? Or are you going to dwell on all the things that aren't going right and things that you wish you could change? And I choose to do the things that I feel like would make me happy and bring me joy, or at least try them out. And if they don't make me happy, then I check that off my list and I say, oh, well, I never have to do that again. If it brings me joy, I'm like, ooh, more of that, please. And in the meantime, I'm going to try to document and share that journey as opposed to being like, you should do this and you should do that and we should all be. No, girl, I'm going to share what I'm doing. I'm going to share where I'm going. I'm going to share what I got going on, and hopefully we can like have fun. Hopefully it'll be entertaining. Hopefully it'll be relaxing. Like you can watch it and it's like a relaxing watch. I'm not the best at editing, but I feel like that's where the creative part of it comes from because it gives you something to learn. And I feel like learning skills as a creative person is very healing in a lot of ways. So I'm excited to get back to like doing all those things because I haven't done them in a while. So yeah, while the podcast is on break, you can find me on YouTube. You can find me, of course, on Instagram. I'm always over there. You can find me on TikTok and you can find me on Substack. I'm always at least in one of those places all of the time. The podcast will come back on August the 6th. So I hope everyone has an amazing summer break. I hope you're able to do something. I hope you're able to feel the sun on your skin, hear the ocean, touch some sand at some point. I hope you're able to have some slow days. I hope you're able to hear some live music. I hope you're able to go sit somewhere where the food is really good and like the drinks are perfect. I hope you are able to get a massage or a facial or sit by the pool and read a book. I hope you have days where no one is asking you for one single thing. I hope you're able to have days where people are offering to bring you things. And Miss So-and-so, would you like a this? And Miss So-and-so, can I get you a that? I hope you have days that are filled with peace. I hope the sun always feels so warm on your skin and that you don't get sunburnt. I hope that whatever skin tint you're choosing to use this summer, I hope it doesn't turn you into an oily mess because sometimes that happens to me. I hope that you find the perfect summer fragrance that is able to combat whatever humidity and heat might find you this summer. I hope that you wear all of the bright colors and that they always look so perfect on your sun-kissed skin. I hope for you this summer that you find comfortable shoes so that you're able to dilly-dally to your heart's content. I hope that you have days where you're able to sit outside and listen to the rain. I hope that you're able to eat all of the things that you have cravings for. I hope that you're able to go to as many classes as you want to go to, that if there's a skill you want to learn, you make time for that. But most importantly, I hope that during this summer break, you make time to really embrace and love on you. Because girl, what do we all know? If we don't do it, we don't know if we can trust that somebody else is going to do it, girl. So if it's important to you, you got to do it for yourself. And I feel like the summertime is the best time to like really pour into you to set yourself up for the last half of the year. Because, when these kids go back to school, it will literally be Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas before you know it. And then boom, it'll be 2027. Time passes and it does not wait. So, girl, enjoy your summer. Look for me on social media because I will definitely be there. And I cannot wait to talk to you again in August. I will try my best to make a running list of anything that happens that's super interesting. And maybe we can kind of catch up on that in August, or maybe I'll just chit chat and yap a little bit more over in our Instagram stories if something really, really like big happens that we want to talk about. But I guess that's it for now, girl. While you're out all summer long, compliment a woman, tell her something nice about herself, Bring her joy, make her smile. Don't compete, don't compare, don't complain. What God has for you is for you. And never knock another woman's hustle. I'll talk to you in August, girl. Love you. Bye.